last one to speak before this ends. Talking about email marketing. Open-Xchange is an email technology company, and so we deliver messages on behalf of our customer. There's one element that is sometimes negative to us, sometimes positive to us. It's all these commercials that are inside an email, or that are special emails that are sent on behalf of advertisers. At the moment, it's the advertiser who owns the consumer address, who has the opt-in. So he starts sending emails to consumers and is using your premise and is using our installation. We have seen things, or we do see things, where things are not moving in the right direction. So there is a survey of a company that signed up on 500 largest websites in Europe and asked for newsletters. And they got newsletters. And they didn't get 500 newsletters, they got 2,000 newsletters. And from 1,500 different entities, they never signed up for a service. So at the moment, there's still a lot of elements inside email that are sent through our installation with you guys, where people are trying to manipulate the user, and we're trying to fish the email address out of that email, which is not in the intent of the consumer and which is not in the intent of all of us. How is email marketing planned at the moment? Email marketing is planned still very simple. So I have an email marketing campaign. I want to reach 100,000 users, so I do send that email now. I don't know when it will be opened, who will open it, and all that stuff. Interesting enough, you see already a face. So when is email sent? So the Tuesday is the best day where your email inbox is full. Interesting enough, on Tuesday it is the highest opening rates as well. So why is that? Why is that happening? So on Monday you come back into the office, you have another 200 emails that were done over the weekend, so you don't have the time or the gut feeling to open it, so you're deleting more than you would do. Tuesday seems to be a good time. And on Friday, Saturday, and even more on Sunday, there's no one checking his email. This is how it looks like when I see this data. But still, there's a lot of email marketing campaigns and companies who are planning. When do I send that email? When do I assume that my consumer will check his email? And how do I do that? Most of the companies really send it at a certain hour. So if I look into our systems, there's always a peak, starting at full and then going for 2 minutes, and then there's less emails throwing through our systems. That doesn't mean that the consumer does see that, but it's just going into the folder. If the consumer is checking his email once a day, that can mean that the email marketing campaign that you've sent will be not visible for the user, or there's another 25 campaigns or emails before you can reach, or the consumer will see that. And we just feel that it doesn't make sense, and have thought about how to change and how to adjust all these elements. So what is the challenge? We have declining opening rates. There's more and more emails coming. There's more and more phishing. We have subscribers with less interest, with desubscription rates a lot. So we invented what we call Open-Xchange promo mail. Open-Xchange promo mail means that we are using the DAF code installation and the DAF code systems so that we know when a consumer is checking his email. So we are going from that point that we plan to send and then hope that the user is opening his email, to that point that we only send that email when the consumer is checking in that very moment his inbox. Which means that any email campaign that we can send will be visible for the user and will be seen by him. It's a big difference. But that still doesn't help consumers to get the right message that is interesting to him. And so we thought continuously what we can do and how we can change and how we can adjust. So we want to use, or we will use, the data of consumers on consumer behaviors. But we want to have that with his approval and with his knowledge. So it's not hidden that Raphael was talking about a day before. So we will use the data that we have, that you have, for the consumer. And we send emails that hopefully are relevant and then are visible for the consumer. So for that, what we need to build or what we need to have is what we call in the advertising space a DMP, a data management platform. There are a couple of out. So what we do is to dump all the relevant data that we have about consumer into this database. So we're using your CRM data. We know it is Dirk Freytag who is using his Vodafone Germany email address, who lives in Berlin, who has this age, who has 3 contracts with Vodafone, and some more information that we have, but the consumer is aware that we do have them and that we can use them, and has opted in for that. And we are mixing that with data, how he reacts on what his interest is, and gain that information about what the user's interests are. When is he opening emails? When is he checking and reacting on information that's about sports, it's about healthcare and all that stuff. And so we will be able to get a closer and better profile and to offer that to advertisers and to offer that with you guys to send less emails to consumer, but that they're more relevant because he is interested in health and he's not interested in gaming. And with that, as we have higher intent of the user, of course, we can achieve higher CPM rates. In digital advertising, we talk about CPM, which is cost per million, which is for 1,000 emails that have been sent, you pay a special amount. We have different ways as well. We have things for opening. We have even things for reaction into an email. So it's cost per click or even cost per order. That shifts the responsibility to send the right thing to the sender and not to the advertiser anymore. But we are all, whatever we do, we are converting that into the cost per million. So we see what is the opening rate, and then we make a recalculation what that would that mean in cost per million, so that we can adjust which email do we send, because it's the highest value for us and the high value for the advertiser to be sent. With that DMP, we can target users, and not in the wrong way. What I said earlier is when is the best time to send that email? The best time to send that email is, of course, when a consumer is checking his mail. With the IMAP injection or promo mail, we can do that regardless on which device the consumer is checking his email. So far, whenever someone is on his desktop interface, some of you have decided to have 1, 2, 3, or whatever ads around that email. If someone is using his cell phone and has signed up for the Apple service or the Google service, there's no ads, because the consumer just has deleted that, or Apple has deleted that. So how can you monetize that, what you have done? Because you offer it partly a free service, and you don't get any money, because about 60% of traffic is already on mobile. And so with that, we can really inject that or deliver emails into the email stream of the consumer. So regardless which device he's using, we can deliver. And we can report on which device we do that. In addition to that, we want to check if there are special consumer behaviors with special users. So if me checking my email about, I would lie if it's not 80 times a day, would I always react on campaigns or marketing campaigns? I would say no. So what is the best time where you can reach Dirk? When he is checking his email, but when he is open to react on advertisement. So maybe my time is between 11 and 12. So when I check it between 11 and 12, I get an injected email. One of the constraints that we have in the email marketing world at the moment is, how do I plan how many emails do I send? And who will open that? So at the moment, I'm sending out 100,000 emails, and someone has signed up for that service, but I don't know if he's still using his email address. With that, we change it, because it is only delivered to that user who's in that very moment checking his mail. So that means that that portion of emails that are sent so far for the garbage are gone. So that I get more value as an advertiser for the money I sent, because it is people that are checking. Because they are behind the login screen, it is real users. So it's not someone with a fake account. It is someone who's checking his email. It's huge data and huge relevant for advertisers. And so we can send emails when a user is either most active or most open to react on advertisement, or whatever data point we consider to have, or we would, together with you, like to offer to advertisers. That data can be delivered, and it's only on our premise, so it's not someone else doing that, no one else checking that. With that data, we go into the real-time world. So we can, we are considering, and there's a lot of partners who are reaching out to us to say, but that email world is, from the user perspective, a very small world. He is everywhere in the internet. And he has an intent. So there are companies out that are checking my personal intention at the moment on the web and want to use this information to throw that information into email and then adjust email sending according to that. What does that mean? So I am interested to buy a new Tesla, and I'm on that site. And I was pre-configuring my Model 3 that will come in 2025, just before the rocket comes, so that I can travel already in 30 minutes anywhere in the world. But I'm just doing that right now. So there is an intent of myself to buy or interested in this car. And so there are companies out who are using this data and who want to manipulate emails just when that. So if I just check my email 5 minutes later, why don't I use this information that I had on someone else to deliver email marketing campaigns that are in the interest of the consumer right now? We as Open-Xchange have not made the final decision if we support that or if we don't, but I just wanted to give a little bit broader perspective what is possible in this digital landscape and where data can flow and how can flow. So we can use information that is somewhere out and mix that with the information that we have on the user, and so that we can be even closer to his intention right now to deliver ads. What we can do for sure is that if we have the opt-in from the consumer that he is interested in Tesla campaigns and he is at the moment on Tesla sites, there's no reason not to send a Tesla email campaign into the user's information at the moment. But we're not fully there and haven't fully decided how far we go with this data. As you all know, we take data very, very seriously. And so we are still in a balance and in discussion with a lot of people what to do and how to do. Whatever we do, we believe that using the right data can help to reduce the inboxes and to reduce email campaigns and still bring more value to you guys. Is that complicated? No. It is really, and will be based on the Dovecot installation, a very easy plug-and-play installation for you guys. That would mean that you have a technology. And the technology is always awesome, and we as tech guys always love technologies. Sometimes we forget to make money out of that and to use it in the right way. So in digital advertising, I've seen over the last 15 years I'm in that we always invented a technology, and then it took us 3 years to discover what we can do with that and how much money we can generate with that. And most time over the 3 years we annoyed user to do so. So our intention is to offer that technology, but to restrict that and to give a lot of power and decision to you guys who are the people who are in charge, to have as much usage of your email systems as possible, because that is what is relevant for you, so that you can decide what is the maximum of these campaigns a user will see over a week. What is his intention? So how close do you get? How much data do you gain from these consumers so that the message is delivered according to that what fits into your strategy? We had a discussion yesterday that one of the companies is considering to stop the email injection on the desktop because there is already advertising and only use that for mobile. So there are a lot of ways that you can play, because we understand, because we are the system and the server behind which device is the consumer at that very moment using, so that we decide if we inject or if we don't inject a campaign. But it really has to fit into your strategy, into your way of selling advertising. If you go back into the advertising teams that you have, I assume that 98% of them have never sold an email campaign. They sold advertisements, the nice banners on the left and on the right and wherever. So if you go and say, here's a new technology, use it, there may be no revenue. So you have, before you activate that, consider who will help you to bring demand so that you can deliver these campaigns. You can do the first step and say, hey, I just offer that as a technology services for a company like Zalando. Because Zalando at the moment has a problem that first it's going through the spam filter, and then they don't know, so coming back to that point, when the user is consuming that email. So offer it maybe to the Zalando guys and say, hey, we offer this additional service that we do not send it anymore at 12, but we send it in that moment where a consumer checks his email. This is already an added value, and you're just getting part of that value chain that is in email marketing right now. With both, you can learn, and they can learn. And we can see where that goes. In addition to that, we as Open-Xchange are considering to build like an own demand team, so that we would offer email marketing campaigns to you guys. And then you make a decision if you want to have that and if you want to deliver that or if you don't. And you can say that you don't want to have any offer that is below a certain revenue, so below 10 euros CPM or whatever you feel and as you what you want to get delivered, or there's only special advertisers that you want to have. So we will come to you and say, as you enable that service, here are 3 campaigns that are just waiting to be sent to consumer who are male, living in big cities, and are between 25 and 35. And if you say that makes sense, and the value that I will gain with that makes total sense, then we have a deal, and we have agreement, that we learn how that works. That is where we consider how to work and how to start that project. What is the potential of that? The potential is really that we can nearly guarantee 100% visibility of any campaign that is sent. We can guarantee 100% delivery, so because of that, checking and injecting in that very moment, we know that is 100,000 emails sent, and we stop sending emails after that. When the campaign is planned until 5 o'clock, and the consumer is checking his email at 5:10, there's no reason to send him that email again, because it is useless for him. So we stop sending emails in that very moment where a campaign is over, or where you as an advertiser have decided that you don't want to have emails sent anymore. As you have real-time delivery, you have real-time reaction. So we know what is the opening rate. You can test, you can try about content. You can test, you can try on the fly about the title of that email. It doesn't open as it should. So stop that campaign, adjust that campaign, and do that on the fly, because you have immediate data. Whenever we send an email, we can deliver back to you what is the reaction of that consumers. a huge advantage. So it's not one planning, one testing, back and forth, and then go. You can start a campaign when you are ready, and you can adjust and change all the campaigns just on the fly with real users and not with a beta version here and 2,000 users somewhere. You will be able to segment users on your behavior, and because of that behavior that we do have in our systems, we can expect and deliver what is the expected revenue that you will gain for that. And then you make a decision if it's worth to have more emails to the consumer, or if it's not worth to have more emails to the consumer. So what we hope to be able to give you is a tool that first enables you to make revenue in that sector of email that so far no one of you guys have a potential to make revenue out of that. It is when consumers are using their email on cell phones, which is growing. And second, we give you more power and more control to deliver the right campaigns to the right users. And with other elements that we can hopefully bring into that table, we can stop more spamming, so that email marketing campaigns that goes to your users are at least approved by you and then sent through your systems or with your approval, and not, as Neil said earlier, with someone who claimed to be a PayPal or with any other elements. We are, so the next question will be, when can I get that? So we decided that at some point that our knowledge in email marketing is good, but not good enough. So we are partnering with a company who are helping us to do all the campaign planning and to do all the reporting, so that whoever wants to use our systems gets a full used system, which already through their systems are 3.5 billion emails sent every month. And so all reportings are there, all plannings are there that are relevant and that are normal in this industry. We are adding these features with direct reporting, with direct messaging and all that stuff. The work is done so that everything is possible to do, so we can send emails right now. We are at the moment starting to deploy and starting to test about scalability, but it's the last remaining issue that we do have. So I personally assume that somewhere in Q1, we will be able to offer that to anyone using our DAF installation. And then it's you to decide how it fits into your sales strategy, if you have the right people to sell that, or to use our help as well to create more demand. That's what we believe can be an additional element and a helping element for the shrinking revenue that you gain in advertising on the desktop world, and to help you to get some more revenue in total with using email, but as well with reducing the annoying elements that consumers do have when they are using emails. Thank you.